So Larry, this is a 5'10" Cunningham, and this is your very first time seeing it, isn't it?
Yes.
We've spoken about it over the phone, but we happen to be here with Kurt Weissman, and Kurt recently got into a pretty hot argument in the factory in Ningbo involving Tim Oliver, my business partner. They left me home, unfortunately. But in the design of our new plate, and there's a lot of things that we're trying to do with the new plate that's coming through. One is, Kurt, the rigidity.
Correct.
Can you talk about that just for a moment? Why are we putting more mass on the plate?
The more mass on the plate would take away the resonance, and you do not want the plate to resonate quite as much. You want it to have a lot more ability to produce the sound and to have it bounce off and have the sound come directly from the soundboard.
The other significant change is that instead of having what we call a hockey stick right here in the treble bridge, so right at the end of the treble bridge it curves around, the Frank Emerson design is going to have that straight out. Why are we doing that, Kurt?
Why are we doing that?
Yes.
Well, in that regard, I think Frank Emerson may have mentioned it, and that the reason why we're taking that out over in this direction is to reduce the amount of down pressure in this part of the bridge, and therefore freeing it up to give it a better tone. By taking the bridge and by moving it out a little bit further into the speaking lane allows the bridge to have more flexibility.
And that's going to give us an easier, more even break, which is going to make it easier for you guys when the pianos come in to prep. We'll be spending less time, perhaps, on prepping that break and voicing the break. It
most definitely will give a more transitional break right through that period.
Awesome.
Right through that.
So tell me a little bit about the argument that happened, because you went there. Frank Emerson had the mold of the plate. We have the pictures of this on our website right now. But tell me about how that went down.
Sure. Well, when we were visiting, I forgot which town it was, Tim. Tim and I went. We went to go visit the actual the plate, the cast plate, the plate in which you were able to look at and make all your adjustments, your final adjustments. So when we went to this one location where they made the molds, we saw the original plate design, and it seemed to have a lot of mass, more mass than what both Tim and I thought it should have. For instance, back over here, these extended all the way back to this part over here. It was just very massive. And the height in the front of the piano over here, where the tuning pins are, was extremely high. And we both felt that it would be a difficult piano to tune with such a high plate height over in this area here. So we talked with Frank Emerson, who it was a lot of fun to discuss it, but we learned that if we were going to reduce that height, then we had to come wider in the plate on the lower part to keep the same tolerances that he was looking to have in the original design. So we wanted to have that compromise between keeping the integrity of what he had initially designed and yet still get the functionality of what us as piano technicians and tuners need in order to have comfort while we're tuning the piano.
And his reasons for that mass, he came here, Larry, and looked at an original Cunningham built in 1905, and he wanted to have some elements that went through. Obviously, this is not that design, but he wanted to keep some elements, and one of those elements was the amount of mass in the plate. Great, thanks, guys.
Okay.